Okay, Colin, here we go. Sorry, I only have one view. We guess I forgot to take a side view of you, but that's okay. I really had to. I probably should have seen that too because I wanted to see how much better you got with your chin tuck and the flexion of your trunk. But great job, man. You were throwing some pretty good gas. But anyhow, it's just so impressive to see how quickly you can make changes. And even off the mound, you're able to do it where a lot of kids would struggle going off the mound because you're going downhill and everything's moving faster. But take a look at your throwing arm. Look at the difference when you flex the elbow, right? You get the pre-stretch now of of the shoulder and the pec here, which is part of that kinetic chain of, the ankle, the knee, the hip, the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist. I mean, that is part of the short stretch cycle that you need to, fire the arm because it's part of the last few pieces there of the chain, the last few links there. So that is how you get horizontal abduction. Remember you used to swing the arm back, the hand went way off the body, and that's more of shoulder extension, not horizontal abduction, which gives you that pre-stretch in here, which will now then fire as you're ready to land the foot. Okay, so what a great change that you made there. I hope you're able to keep that going. And you know, you haven't mastered it yet, but the more you do it, the better you're going to get. It's just going to be second nature. So keep up the hard work. Get the reps in. You don't have to throw much. Just do the movements, and those patterns will start to build in your brain. That motor skill will get to, you'll get that learned, and it'll be like second nature. So also, how about the wrist? See, when your focus is leading with the elbow, the hand doesn't become an issue anymore, and it's fixed. It's amazing how the bigger, the smaller problems are fixed by locating the bigger problem. And when you can find the big problem, then everything else gets fixed. So the problem with that wrist hook that you used to have is that it causes a lot of forearm fatigue, and maybe you didn't experience that yet, but that will catch up because the studies, I looked up a lot of things there on that, and the studies say that that does cause a lot of tightness and soreness in the flexor pronator mass, and it affects your ability to recover as well, because we're looking at two joints here. We got the wrist and we have the elbow, and when you have a two joint, muscle tension between those two, it's such a negative effect on the efficiency of the movement of the entire arm. So eliminating that is a big plus. I mean, also you got to remember that the fingers are connected to the wrist. The flexors and the fingers that move the fingers up and down, the flexor muscles, those are all the same muscles in the wrist that connect to the medial on the inside part of the elbow there. So when those finger flexors are affected by that hook that you had, that creates like a real bad an activity, like a contraction activity that you don't want in the arm at that point. You want the arm to be in a neutral position like it is here, so that it's relaxed and it's longer, so that when the forces get there, then they can react. But you want that muscle to be as loose as it can, the joint here and all those little flexors, so that they can receive the forces in a relaxed position, and then they'll fire. Okay, so great work there. I hope that really helps you out. Now, some of the other things we should talk about here that are going to help you out too with the back leg here. Let's take a look real quick. So we've got the heel coming up a little early, okay, and that's because we've got the knee here. When you shift out, you have to keep all the weight down here. Feel the weight on the foot all the way, like completely down, even though you're moving out. Don't get in the habit of getting up on those toes too soon, because once you do, now you lose the power of the heel, and the force is coming from the ground right here. So when you get out here at this point, you should still be flat on the ground until you've right about there, and that's where that explosive movement's going to come. So right here I see that you're in dorsiflexion and you're just about past your toe. and we don't want to get too far over the toe. We want to get flexion in the knee, but we want to get the flexion so that our bottom is getting lower and the center of gravity is moving towards a squatting position rather than getting out in front of our toe. Like you would never squat in this position with your heel coming off the ground and pushing off your toes. That would blow out your knees. You would squat down this way with all the weight down here. So that's how you load correctly. So you really want to get to that next level, we got to work on load. Got to work on the load, and we got to work on, yeah, I think that's just about it. All right. Your arm action looks great. Keep continuing that up, and we'll work on the load. We'll work on how to shift that weight a little bit better. And I think what happens here at the end, also let's take a look at some things here before I take a look at the foot. All right, you get some great shoulder angle here, 57 degrees, 56 degrees, that's awesome. Let's take a look at your elbow height, shoulder abduction up here. Really want it to be at about anything over 105 and nothing over 115, about 111, that's excellent. Good position there. So what happens here with the foot? Okay, so we land a little bit across the body, and I can't tell, it looks like you're not really stabilizing the front leg too well, so what's happening is that the weight, yeah, I think, oh, yeah, it's hard to tell if they've stabilized that leg quick enough. But if you don't, and you're throwing across your body, then the weight's you're going to balance yourself out, so that's where you fall. You're literally twisting on that ankle there because you're trying to balance yourself out because you're coming around this way now. And if you don't brace up that front leg, then the weight's just going to turn you on the ankle there. Ouch. So that's what happened there. But great job. Keep up the good work. We'll work again in a few days. Maybe I'll see you in church tomorrow. All right.